Do you think it's hard to get enough protein eating plant-based, especially after 40? So let me show you how to make it simple today, no counting and no stress. Hi, I'm Nadia. I'm a holistic nutritionist and longevity coach, and every week I help women simplify plant-based eating and build a longevity lifestyle. So I went plant-based about 8 years ago, and protein was one of the biggest things I had to figure out because I just wasn't sure. And that's why I created this video to simplify this piece of the puzzle for you. And I just want to also mention that I have a plant powered protein cheat sheet in my membership, the Plant Powered Kitchen Club. In case you're interested, just comment below. And feel free to drop your questions in the chat anytime. So, after 40, our bodies naturally begin to lose muscle, and this process is called sarcopenia. So, you lose about 3 to 5% of muscle mass per decade after the age of 30. That muscle mass decrease accelerates significantly after 60, with potential losses of 12% by 70, 30% by 80 without intervention. And so, what happens is that this impacts mobility and independence. However, through strength training and proper nutrition, you can actually slow or reverse that muscle loss or sarcopenia. We also see changes in metabolism slowing down, hormones fluctuating, recovery takes longer from workouts or even just overall daily fatigue. So, protein is essential to preserve muscle mass, stabilize energy throughout the day, support thyroid and adrenal function, keep us full. It helps prevent cravings and late night snacking. So there's a common myth that if you eat plant-based, you're not getting any protein. And that is probably one of the top questions I get asked. So where do you get your protein from? But this is simply not true. It just takes a little bit of strategy. So how much protein do you actually need? So the current guidelines say that we need about zero point 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. So if you convert pounds to kilograms, you want to divide your weight in pounds by 2.2. So, for example, let's say that you are 150 pounds. That equals 68 kilograms, which translates to about 55 to 70 grams of protein per day. Now, that is a general guideline. You want to try to aim for 15 to 20 grams of protein per meal, sometimes 30 grams, depending on, the stage of life you're in or how active you are, or if you're an athlete. So don't stress about perfection or tracking. Instead, what you want to do is build meals around a protein anchor. If you're active, recovering from illness, or in peri or menopause, you may need a little bit more. So just listen to your body. Signs of low protein include fatigue, cravings, muscle loss, or poor recovery. So here are my 7 easy plant-based protein sources. So number one are lentils. 1 cup of lentils gives you 18 grams of protein. And just a fun fact, it also gives you about the same amount of fiber too. So you could have lentils in soups, curries, bowls. There's a lot of different ways that you can eat lentils. Tofu tempeh. So these are two things that I would highly recommend that you also incorporate. This is a really good source of protein. A half block of tofu is 20 grams of protein. You can marinate it, you can bake it, you can do a stir fry. I know a lot of people are scared of tofu, but if you marinate it just like you would marinate anything else, it will taste delicious, guaranteed. Edamame. So that is another thing that I would highly recommend. You can have it steamed or you can have it crunchy too. But 1 cup of edamame is 17 grams of protein. This is a really great quick snack, and it's also great for salads too. Chickpeas and black beans. So this is a really great source of protein as well as fiber. You get 15 grams per cup. So you can have hummus, tacos, roasted chickpeas. You can add them to your salads. There's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate these different legumes into your diet. Hemp seeds. So this is also a really good source of protein. 3 tablespoons equals 10 grams. So you can sprinkle it on oatmeal, smoothies, salads. There's a lot of different ways that you can have it. I've actually even sliced a banana and put some hemp seeds on it with some almond butter. It's a high source of fiber and protein. Number six are chia seeds. So chia seeds are also a really great source of protein and fiber. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds are 5 grams of protein. So you can make chia pudding, you can add it to yogurt. You just want to make sure that you soak it for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Number seven are whole grains. So quinoa, oats, farro, these are all really good sources of protein. I often will make some quinoa and have that in place of rice, or sometimes I'll add some of the quinoa to the rice so that I'm getting more protein. But 1 cup of quinoa is 8 grams of protein. So, another option if you want to increase your protein intake or you're having a day where you're kind of having a busy day, protein powders are also a good option. Just look for clean label, no added sugar, but you can add it to smoothies, you can add it to oatmeal, or mix it into snacks like energy balls. So, here are the common pitfalls to avoid. Just eating vegetables and carbs, you're missing a protein source. So, you want to try to have salad with beans, for example. So you're getting the fiber, but you're also getting the protein. Pasta, add some tofu or tempeh to it. Another pitfall that people often do is skipping breakfast or only having carbs. So, for example, if you're just having toast and coffee for breakfast, you are going to have a low energy crash. You want to have protein, especially in the morning, but also just throughout the day. The next thing is snacking all day, but never eating a solid meal. So, eating things like nuts, fruits, crackers, these are all great, but they do not have enough protein. And it's in general not a great idea to be snacking all day. And then lastly is overthinking it. You don't need to be perfect to be consistent. Meal plan just a few high protein meals and snacks for the week to stay on track. So you can thrive on a plant-based diet after 40 with energy, muscle, and balance, but it does take some planning. You want to build meals around real whole food protein sources and listen to your body. If you want weekly support, recipes, and coaching, join me in the Plant Powered Kitchen Club on School. So let me know, what is your favorite plant-based protein? Comment below. Thank you for being here, and I am cheering you on. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more simple tips for plant-based longevity and energy after 40.